Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Yay. All right, we're going to scoot it over here. Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome to CSL Dallas. We're so happy you've joined us this morning. And if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, please remember to subscribe to CSL Dallas. And if you have feedback about our YouTube or Facebook sharing, please send anything to info@csldallas.org, because we are continuing to strive to give you the best experience. And boy, is it a learning experience. So please send lots and lots and lots of love to Ryan and Ifayemi and Richard, who are doing their best to give you the best possible experience on a Sunday morning. And we're so happy that you're with us, whether you're with us every Sunday, whether you watch us throughout the week. We just really, really love being part of your lives and for you being part of our lives. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives, and we are doing it together despite the fact that we are physically distancing. So I do have a couple things to tell you about. Please remember that tomorrow our visioning class starts. And visioning is this fabulous technology about how you can envision how your life might seek to be unfolding out of the very depths of the true self that you are. Carol Merlot will be teaching that class. Please sign up. And I'll be doing a workshop next Saturday on meditation, getting started or going deeper. And so if you want to kickstart your meditation practice for the year, or just want to meditate in a group or get together and go a little deeper, please do join me next Saturday at 1 o'clock. You can sign up at CSLDallas.org. And remember that you can join me any Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, Meditation and Metaphysics.
And speaking of meditation and a spiritual practice, let's talk about consciousness and expanding your consciousness. What do those terms mean? So if you don't know, we get to find out on January 31st from 1 to 3 p.m. with the class, Key to Expanding Consciousness, taught by Reverend Patty and our very own BB Gafour. Do not miss this one.
So, and we especially want you to know that this class is for our newest people. If you aren't familiar with CSL Dallas, or you aren't familiar with what we teach here, and you want to kind of dip a toe in, want to learn a little bit about some of these words that we use, this class is especially for those who are new.
Love it.
Yes, all right. So I just want to talk to everyone that's in a couple. Okay, you're sort of like 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, coupling. We have a great experience for you as couples on February 4th, but the key is you can't wait till the last minute to register. You must register by January 29th because there will be special goodies dropped off at your doorstep.
Or mailed.
Or mailed. So it is called KMIR, Couples Experience. It's a course that's centered around a model that was created. It's called a byproduct training, or APB. The building block of APB is created an opportunity for participants to have fun. All right, come on, couples. I know we need to have some fun right now. So have fun and become lost in the process of having fun. And as a byproduct, become the goal instead of simply trying to accomplish one. You know what it's like when you're trying to accomplish a goal? Well, how about become the goal and have fun while you're doing it? So this is put on by two incredible men, and we are so excited that we are offering this. I think I'm going to talk to someone to see if she wants to participate with me in this coupling experience and have fun together. So register now. And now is also the time that we invite you to open up the flow, the givingness of your life. You know, here in Dallas, we've had this opening of a lot of rain, and it's bringing everything to life. Without that rain, we're not going to see as much growth. And this is true with your giving to this community. When you give and you open up the flow and give to this community, you're giving to every single one of us here in Dallas and beyond. And boy, do we put what you give to us to work to the highest potentiality. So we ask you to give, and give generously. You can do that at CSLDallas.org/give. There's a couple of ways you can give there. You can text give. If you're on Facebook, you can see what that text give is. We're going to make it even easier for you to give in the weeks to come. And so we appreciate all that you give through you to us. And so let's be with this. I invite you to go within. Go within to that infinite field, that boundless spaciousness, essence and presence of life itself, which has no circumference to it, has no limit to it, has nothing that actually restricts or contains itself. Knowing that this one power and this one presence and this one life is all that there is. There's only one. And within this one, there are these beautiful expressions in form of life itself showing up in the diversity, the individualized expressions of life, showing up as plants, animals, planets, stars, galaxies, human beings, the conscious awareness of life itself, co-creating in all that there is. This life is truly creative. And it is in this unity of life itself that I recognize that I am that I am. I am this individualized expression. I am this one thread in the garment of all of life itself. And as I know that there's only one garment to this life, we are all connected, threaded through and each and as one another. And so I speak the word this morning for each of us, the conscious place where life itself shows up and chooses what to do, how to be. And what I declare and claim and demand is that we wake up to our spiritual magnificent today. We wake up to know that together we rise. That we rise as a collective, caring for one another, caring for our beautiful planet, caring for these sentient beings that love to express themselves in so many diverse ways. And that as we care for each other, we care for ourselves, because it's in this garment, this one garment, that we rise together. I know we are on the cusp right here, right now, of the vast majority of each of us to realize and recognize this. And with each conscious thought that we each hold in our mind that we are one, and there's not any two going on. There is no other out there. There's only one of us. We create this world that works for everyone and a life that works for each of us. And we are at choice to rise together in this moment. And we make that choice. And so I release these words into this universal law, knowing that the law must produce, must mirror back. As it is spoken, so it is. I celebrate this in great expectancy. I see the rise that we make together. And so it is.
Spirit and I are one. 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 Holy, 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 holy,
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Well, you always know when Karen and I are wearing our stoles that we have something very special happening in our celebration. And this morning, our special happening is that we have a wonderful practitioner installation that we're going to be sharing this morning. So we're going to invite the practitioner leadership team to come up. This is Shannon Kearns and Christine Volkmer and Faye Abdullah Salam, and they are representing our practitioner core of 21. We're just still continuing to work on our physical distancing. So the three of them are here to hold space and to represent our practitioner core. And we want to thank them for holding the light so brightly for our community and for our practitioner core. And today they're holding the space in which to receive back into our circle our beloved Doreen Breedlove. So Doreen, you want to come on up here? So for those of you who don't know Doreen yet, Doreen has been part of our community for years and years and years. She was our Joy Village director. She became a practitioner. She's been a teacher and a drum leader circle with us. And then she decided to follow her bliss and go to Hawaii. So she's been in Hawaii for the last few years and has been really enjoying that, and we are thrilled and delighted that Doreen is back in Dallas. And seeks to and to serve with us here at CSL Dallas. So this is an opportunity for us to reinstall her as a professionally licensed practitioner and spiritual coach here at CSL Dallas. Down through the ages, there have been those in whom the light of divine love has burned brightly, as they have been willing to work in love and service for others. That light burns brightly today in this beautiful and special person who has answered the call to being a professionally licensed science of mind practitioner here at CSL Dallas. This is a high calling and a responsibility, for she has volunteered to be a light of love in the world and is committing to being a spiritual partner to you, our members and friends of this community. She is offering herself as a vessel for truth, to be an avenue through which truth is revealed and wholeness restored.
Doreen, remember as you come to this holy moment and these vows, the great commandments that was spoken by the master teacher. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Keep these commandments in your heart, and you will always be guided to be aligned in the conscious things you do and say. We ask our practitioners to willingly and unreservedly dedicate themselves to the practice of spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, the teaching of the principles of science and mind, loving service to others, and their own ever-deepening spiritual growth and understanding.
So, Doreen, we're going to ask you to repeat some of the vows that you did when you first became installed. We're not going to do all of them because you've been a practitioner now for how many years?
Since 2014.
Since 2014. So, but we will be just taking some of the vows, right, because you're getting reinstalled here at CSL Dallas. All right. So, Doreen, do you dedicate yourself to your own continually deepening spiritual practice, that you may walk ever closer in the heart of God and see ever more clearly the spiritual truth, and that your life, to the best of your ability, is lived as a model for and conscious realization of love and law at the center of your being?
I do.
Doreen, do you dedicate yourself to behold the divine perfection in all who call upon you, to the constant recognition of the one Spirit within all people, regardless of any outer condition or circumstance, and to be a place of healing and wholeness as you serve whomever may call you in time of need?
I do.
Doreen, do you dedicate yourself to serve willingly and lovingly as spiritual coach, teacher, and guide to this community, to participate in expanding the ministry of CSL Dallas in whichever way Spirit calls you, and to live our purpose to be radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives?
I do.
And Doreen, do you dedicate yourself to your high calling and to the conduct of your license with dignity, integrity, moderation, and sincere commitment, to adhere to the declaration of principles and the global vision of Centers for Spiritual Living, and to practice the art and science of spiritual mind treatment and healing, and to conform to the code of ethics for professionally licensed practitioners.
I do.
I'm so happy you're back. So, as a professionally licensed practitioner, licensed by the authority of the Centers of Spiritual Living, you are privileged to be reinstalled in your ecclesiastical office at CSLDallas. This is an outer expression of an inner consecration that you've already made within your own heart, because I know you. Through this consecration, you place yourself in a special relationship to all humankind, the members and friends of this community and the ministry of CSLDallas. Yours is the privilege and responsibility of practicing spiritual mind treatment and the applications of the law of mind to restore wholeness in mind, body, spirit, and worldly affairs to whoever may call upon you. Reveal the truth to all who seek, so they may be free. So it is our privilege to place this stole on your shoulders, reinstalling our beloved Doreen Breedlove as a licensed spiritual practitioner, licensed spiritual coach and practitioner here at CSLDallas. And we just welcome you with open arms, and we're so grateful.
Welcome back home. We're
Yes.
so glad you're back.
Yay! And so we have some really special music for you today. We have beautiful J.D. Martin and Jan Garrett sharing two pieces. The first one is We Are One. Please enjoy.
Hi, my name is Jan Garrett.
I'm J.D. Martin. Our song is One Heart. There's a new world on the horizon, made of light, not of stone, calling out to all creation, you are not alone. Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best friends, enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they're all in you and me. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it and bring you home again. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. Around the world tonight, all the fires are burning, tears are falling from the sky. Still the world keeps turning. one soul, one dream we share together. We are all a part. We are one heart. We're looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. Ooh, we are one. Yes, we are all a part of one heart. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for that beautiful music, JD and Jan. We're so grateful for you to share that music, even though we can't have you here in the sanctuary at this moment. We love it that you're sharing your music with us. And yeah, you know, it's really lovely to be able to experience all of this virtually. But I have to tell you, I've been missing my books. I've been missing my library. And so I've started coming in to prepare for things. And as you see, I have a bunch of books here that I'm going to share with you because they're my friends. And all of our spiritual inspiration, whether it's music or sayings or poems or things that we read, remind us of this deep and profound truth, that we are connected, that we are one. Every spiritual tradition actually talks about this in its mystical strain. And out of that connection comes this deep understanding that we're also creative, that this dance of oneness and creativity is constantly going on. And so as we think about our theme for the year and our theme for January, Together We Rise. Together we rise. 2 weeks ago, we talked about that we rise through spirit. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how we rise through creativity and we rise through connection. That these are deep and profound truths about us that we can rely on, that can be the very ground upon which we stand, the wind beneath our wings, that which lifts us into the truth of our lives and to really express this beautiful dance that's going on. So I want to begin with this poem from Mariah Mountain Dreamer. You may be familiar with her poetry from The Invitation. She also wrote one called The Call. This one is called The Dance. I've sent you my invitation, the note inscribed on the palm of my hand by the fire of living. Don't jump up and shout, "Yes, this is what I want, let's do it." Rather, just stand up quietly and dance with me. Show me how you follow your deepest desires, spiraling down into the ache within the ache. And I will show you how I reach inward and open upward to feel the kiss of the mystery, sweet lips on my own, every day. Don't tell me you want to hold the whole world in your heart. Show me how you turn away from making another wrong without abandoning yourself when you are hurt and afraid of being unloved. Tell me a story of who you are and see who I am in the stories I am living. And together we will remember that each of us always has a choice. Don't tell me how wonderful things will be someday. Show me you can risk being completely at peace, truly okay with the way things are right now, in this moment, and again in the next, and the next, and the next. I have heard enough warrior stories of heroic daring Tell me how you crumble when you hit the wall, the place you cannot go beyond by the strength of your own will. What carries you to the other side of that wall, to the fragile beauty of your own humanness? And after we have shown each other how we have set and kept the clear, healthy boundaries that help us live side by side with each other, let us risk remembering that we never stop silently loving those we have once loved out loud. Take me to the places on the earth that teach you how to dance, the places where you can risk letting this world break your heart, and I will take you to the places where the earth beneath my feet and the stars overhead make my heart whole again and again. Show me how you take care of business without letting business determine who you are. And when the children are fed, but still the voices within and around us shout that soul's desires have too high a price, let us remind each other that it is never about the money. Show me how you offer to your people and the world the stories and the songs you want our children's children to remember. And I will show you how I struggle, not to change the world, but to love it. Sit beside me in long moments of shared solitude, knowing both our absolute aloneness and our undeniable belonging. Dance with me in the silence and in the sound of small daily words, holding neither against me at the end of the day. And when the sound of all the declarations of our sincerest intentions have died away on the wind, dance with me in the infinite pauses before the next great inhale of the breath that is breathing us all into being, not filling the emptiness from without or from within. Don't say yes, just take my hand and dance with me. I think this is what we are doing every moment of every day, is dancing with creation. We're dancing with each other. We're dancing with life. We're dancing with that co-creative power that is seeking to express itself as us in the dance of creativity and creation. And I can't tell you how many people I hear say, "Oh, I'm not creative," except that we're doing it every day. We're doing it every day. We're creating lives. We're creating lives out of our desire to express and our willingness to listen. Our desire to be and our willingness to become. This is the dance of creativity. This is what I don't know about you, but this is what I've been trying to practice all this last almost a year now. Right? Almost a year. The dance of this is the circumstance. How do I show up? This is the situation. What do I choose? Here are my options. Here's what I can do. How do I move forward? Do you see, we're always in this co-creative dance. And I have watched so many of you take up this pandemic in truly extraordinary and creative ways. Dealing with solitude and isolation and loneliness, figuring out how to work at home, how to have crazy, weird Christmases and birthday parties, and entirely new ways of expressing our connection and our work, even to JD and Jan filming songs and emailing them to us so we could play them for you over Facebook and YouTube. Right? I mean, that's just extraordinary creativity. A year ago, we would never even have thought that was possible. A year ago, there were so many things we wouldn't have known that we could learn and do and truthfully create in our own lives. You've been doing that all along. I want to share with you this quote from Aretha Franklin. She says this, "They call me Lady of Soul. So let me tell you something about soul. Soul is something creative, something active. Soul is honesty. I sing to people about what matters. I sing to the realists, people who accept it like it is. I express problems. There are tears when it's sad and smiles when it's happy. It seems simple to me, but to some, feelings take courage. Right? We've been dealing with all of that for almost a year. And to have dug deep into our own souls with creativity and honesty and to express what it is that we have to express. This is what has carried us through this time. And it is on this that we rise. Together we rise because we are creative, not always artistic, but we're always creative. So I really got to thinking about, if soul is creativity and activity and honesty, I thought, well, what is that? What is that ability to be so creative that allows us to engage with craziness in the world and give our gift and come out stronger? And I thought, well, there's two things. The first thing is the ability to imagine. We have the ability to imagine something new, something different from the way it's been, right? We've had to do that with all the ways in which we've imagined how to stay connected despite the fact that we've been socially distancing, how to do our work and share our creativity and our music and our art and all be active in the world in all the different ways that we've been, right? We've had to reimagine our entire lives in some cases. And this is a profound example of the extraordinary creativity that is right here, that is available to each and every one of us all the time, all the time. Scientists have been long trying to figure out what's the difference between a human being and all the other animal kingdom, of which, of course, we are a part. We are a part of that, and they've suggested all kinds of things, and in each case they have found other animals that do something similar or that feel something similar, express similarly, except for one thing, and that is the ability to imagine something completely different than the current experience. That's where our creativity lies. And the other place that it lies is in our flexibility. Our flexibility to respond to changing experiences, because, boy, have they changed, haven't they? Holy mackerel. To respond to changing experiences, right? That's the realist in us, to say, well, this is what is. So this is what is. So how do we respond to it from a creative, engaged way that reminds us that actually we're a part of what's going on? The opposite of that flexibility is, of course, resistance, our unwillingness for things to be different, to change, to be different than the idea that we had or the thought we had about how it was unfolding or the place we were going or the this is our tradition, we always have Christmas this way, we always do this thing, right? Resistance is the opposite of flexibility, and flexibility really allows our creativity to unfurl its wings and to express in a whole new way. And it allows us to dance with our circumstances instead of trying to either control them or resign to them. So imagination and flexibility are the two ways in which we really get a hold of this idea that creativity is the truth of our very nature. So you may not know, maybe you haven't seen it. I used to write all these articles for The Pulse, which was our handout, our little newsletter. You can always find those articles now on our website, CSLDallas.org. If you go to what's happening this month, that article is there. And if you get our monthly study guide, if you're in a study group or a sangha or a circle and you get our monthly study guide, that article is also always there. That's a plug, by the way, for getting into one of those. So this is what I wrote about creativity for this month. We rise through creativity. Co-creation is our birthright. Consciousness is our inheritance. Creativity is the tool. Imagination is where it all begins. Opening to the wellspring of creativity, which is the wisdom and guidance of universal intelligence pouring in, through, and as each of us allows us to raise our lives up. Whenever we are rising out of chaos, confusion, fear, limitation, and lack, or whether we are rising up from good to better or okay to great, the very creativity of the universe is moving when we dream our dream, set our intention, and decide to act as if it were already manifest. This is the dance of being and becoming, right? The absolute essence of our true nature seeking to express itself. And then the becoming is the flowering of that into form, and all of the different forms and avenues and possibilities and ways in which the being of life as us then shows up in the world. This is the heart of our creativity. And I want to say it again. You don't have to go to school to get this. You don't have to become something other than who you are right now in this very moment. All of that is already available right where we are. It is our true self. This is the dance of being and becoming. And as we do this dance, we are an extraordinary blessing. We're a blessing to our own lives. We're a blessing to others. We're a blessing to all of creation. This was written by the editors of the of the magazine Indian Country Today. We are the people who bless being, or all existence, and are blessed by being. Saying we give blessings means that we appreciate, understand, and respect the earth and the universe, both physically and spiritually. We give meaning to being, to the universe, by our self-conscious acts of ceremony, blessings, and respect. I would add creativity. This worldview differs sharply with some Western philosophical positions known as materialism, where the universe is believed to have no significant meaning or purpose for humans. We can continue on that line of thought by saying we are the people who bless becoming. Becoming is the pattern of change and the direction of the universe. Becoming is similar to what many indigenous people understand as the Great Spirit. We are the people who believe there is a plan and purpose to the unfolding of the universe, or becoming. Individuals are part of the overall becoming of the universe, and therefore individuals and nations play a role or purpose in the process of becoming. Do you see? That's the creativity. That's the co-creation part of our creativity. That in our expression of our creativity, in all the creative ways in which we respond to what's going on, do you see? That's what's called co-creation. We are becoming a new becoming, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? Our beingness is showing up in a new becoming, which becomes a blessing because we aren't in resistance. We aren't resigned. We aren't resigning ourselves. We aren't turning our back on things. We aren't wishing that it would go back to the way it was, but we're creatively and flexibly blessing life because we are unfolding the becomingness that is seeking to be us in a whole new way. Do you see? And then we're in the process of co-creation. The universe can only take it so far. The universe can manage the universe, but it can only take it so far. Each one of us with our individual expression of the uniqueness of how we take it up, the creative way in which we take up life. Do you see? We are providing that new space, that new avenue, that creative expression. This is the dance of being and becoming. This is the dance I think we're always being invited into. Our part of the dance is to say what? What does that new form look like? What does that new way, creative outcome, what might it look like or feel like or seem like? And then it's the universe's job to figure out how to bring that about. And then it's our job to dance with the universe as it's bringing it about, flexibly and creatively responding to the new ideas. Do you see? It's all a dance. Sometimes we're leading, Sometimes the universe is leading. And the whole point, as we read in this beautiful passage, the whole point, Sri Aurobindo tells us, is for the delight of the divine. That's a purpose. The whole point is for the delight of the divine. Your life, the way in which you express your life, the unique and precious creativity that you have in every aspect of your life, is for the delight of life, so that it can be more, because you're more. This is right here, right where we are. And it is from this place that we can rise through anything. We can rise from anything, just as we are today. As we engage in this dance, we are reminded that the being and the becoming, the universal and the individual, the expression that I am and the expression that you are, it's all part of the whole. It's all part of the one. And so here's JD and Jan to share their song, We Are One. No, it's a different song. It's the I Am Spirit song, but it's the I Am Spirit song. Here you go.
Oh, yeah. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces, all of my relations in this one heart. All I need is already looking through these eyes, nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Now I let it go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free. And so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. Amen. Gonna say amen. Say amen, amen. This is what I know. Amen. Amen.
All right. Well, so apparently I've completely misconstrued when JD and Jan's song is. I was correct. That was We Are One, and it's just really beautiful. We are all connected in the oneness. We are all connected in the oneness. And this is the other place when we think about rising together that gives us courage and strength and a profound place to stand. That we're all connected, that we are in fact one. So I want to share with you this study that I found in Scientific American magazine. The title of the article is "What Would Happen If Everyone Truly Believed That Everything is One?" because this has something that they've been studying now over the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 years. So the article starts out with these 2 fabulous quotes. One from Albert Einstein. We experience ourselves, our thoughts and feelings, as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Albert Einstein. Separation is a delusion of consciousness. And the Dalai Lama says this, in our quest for happiness and the avoidance of suffering, we are all fundamentally the same and therefore equal. Despite the characteristics that differentiate us, race, language, religion, gender, wealth, and many others, we are all equal in terms of our basic humanity. From the Dalai Lama. And in the basic belief and understanding that we are actually part of a whole, a oneness that is the very truth of the universe itself. So here's what this article goes on to say. The belief that everything in the universe is part of some fundamental whole exists throughout many cultures and philosophical, religious, and spiritual and scientific traditions, as captured by the phrase, all that is, which they use in philosophy and science. The Nobel winner Schrödinger once observed that quantum physics is compatible with the notion that there is indeed a basic oneness of the universe. Therefore, despite it seeming as though the world is full of many divisions, many people throughout the course of human history and today believe that individual things are part of some fundamental identity. Actually, it goes all the way back to the pre-Socratics. There was the big, split in the pre-Socratics. Is it all one thing happening and everything is an expression of that? Or is it all these individual materialistic little specks of something that are randomly making the universe? That goes back to... to 1000, 2000 BCE in the Western tradition. So they did these studies and asked people, do you think about oneness? Do you believe in oneness? Do you think we're all part of a whole? And a quarter of the population has this as a fundamental belief, a fundamental understanding of life itself. And so then they created a ranked set of questions for those people, and those people who scored high on that scale of believing in oneness and having that as fundamental to their belief system. So it goes on to say this. Those who scored higher on the scale were much more likely to have an identity that extends beyond the individual, to encompass wider aspects of humankind, life, nature, and even the cosmos. They found that a belief in oneness was related to values indicating a universal concern for the welfare of others, as well as greater compassion for others. A belief in oneness was also associated with feeling connected to others through a recognition of our common humanity, common problems, and common imperfections. At the same time, there was no relationship between a belief in oneness and whether or not people endorsed self-responsibility and self-focused values such as direction, security, or achievement. This means that people can have a belief in oneness and still have a great deal of self-care, healthy boundaries, and self-direction in life. Hence, the CSL vision, a world that works for everyone and a life that works for me. These are not mutually exclusive in any way, shape, or form. It actually shows that the more oneness we experience, the more we extend out from ourselves beyond just what we ourselves need to a larger expression. So I want to read you one more thing. This is from a Latina activist. I will tell you her name. Ana Louise Keating. She's a Latina scholar and activist. She writes this. Unlike New Age versions of spirituality, which focus almost exclusively on the personal, so that goals become acquiring increased wealth, a good life, or other materialistic items, Spiritual activism begins with the personal, yet moves outward, acknowledging our radical interconnectedness. This is spirituality for social change. Spirituality that recognizes the many differences among us, yet insists on our commonalities and uses these commonalities as catalysts for transformation. What a contrast. What a contrast. While identity politics requires holding on to specific categories of identity, spiritual activism demands that we let them go. That we let them go. It's no longer us and them or the other or somebody else out there that we have opinions and judgments about. It's a recognition that the radical oneness of life is expressed in the oneness of humanity, in all of our magnificent diversity, in all of our differences. There is an underlying connection. And the more that we can really feel and sense that connection, that oneness, the more that we can engage in this dual trajectory in life, a world that works for everyone and a life that works for me, mutually supportive, as opposed to feeling like we have to pick one or the other. So this comes from the monthly article that I wrote for this month. We rise through connection. If we have seen and learned nothing else from 2020, it is how connected we truly are. The internet, social media, and Zoom are providing a great physical metaphor for connection, while the global nature of the pandemic has shown us that every one of us affects everyone else. Yet it is in our connection through the oneness of spirit that we raise above the turmoil into spiritual awareness. And it is our connection to each other and to our community that we raise above isolation and loneliness into a deeper sense of belonging. Do you see that when I can feel my oneness and belonging in the universe, it's so much easier for me to realize that you're part of that whole too. And when I can see that everyone is part of one human global family, it reminds me that I too am part of the one. These two things are this beautiful dance. Wherever we can embrace this oneness and sense it and feel it as the truth of our being, it grows our ability to see and feel it everywhere. And in that place of connection, we rise above the divisiveness. We rise above our sense of otherness. We rise out of our sense of not belonging, not being a part of something, and we rise into that greater sense of who we really are, which of course unlocks our creativity and our co-creation with life. And we see that, yes, actually, we're not just co-creating our own lives. We are, in fact, a part of co-creating the life of all of us and the life of the planet, which means that we become a blessing. We become a blessing in our families, in our workplaces. We become a blessing on the planet because we are rising above that old ideas about how all that works. And we're finding new vision, new creative solutions, new creative possibilities that allow us to rise into a new idea about life as a whole. Because we know who we are and we know who others are, this sense of connection really rises us into a deeper, higher, fuller, richer experience, not only of life, but of the very spiritual awakening that we seek. So I want to close with a couple of poems here from my favorite poem, Hafez. Hafez, a crazy whirling dervish poet. And so I want to start out with this. Several times in the last week, this is entitled. Ever since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the streets, trying to find you. And several times in the last week, God itself has even come to my door asking me for your address. Once I said, God, I thought you knew everything. Why are you asking me where your lovers live? And the beloved replied, well, indeed, Hafez, I do know everything. But it is fun playing dumb once in a while, and I love intimate chats and the warmth of your heart's fire. Maybe we should make this poem into a song. I think it has potential. How does this refrain sound? For I know it is the truth. Ever since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the streets trying to find you. And several times in the last week, God itself has come to my door, so sweetly asking for your address, wanting the beautiful warmth of your heart's fire. Do you see? That's the connection. The recognition that our heart's fire is, in fact, the place where the beloved is seeking to express as us. And it is literally chasing us, knocking, knocking, knocking always at that inner door. And as we open that space to experience our oneness with Source, we create a space for that connection that changes everything. Cast all your votes for dancing. I know the voice of depression still calls to you. I know those habits that can ruin your life still send their invitations. But you are with a friend now and look so much stronger. You can stay that way and even bloom. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music, and from your companion's beautiful laughter. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from the sacred hands and glance of your beloved. And, my dear, from the most insignificant movements of your own holy body. Learn to recognize the counterfeit coins that may buy you just a moment of pleasure, but then drag you for days like a broken man behind a farting camel. You are with a friend now. Learn what actions of yours delight spirit. What actions of yours bring freedom and love. Whenever you say God's name, dear pilgrim, my ears wish my head was missing so they could finally kiss each other and applaud all your nourishing wisdom. Oh, keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music, and from your companion's beautiful laughter, and from the most insignificant movement of your own holy body. Now, sweet one, be wise. Cast all your votes for dancing. This week I invite you to dance in the oneness. Dance with your creativity. Dance with being and becoming. And together we rise.
Thank you, Petra. So we get opportunities to dance together now. So you have two ways in which you can dance right here, right now. The first is if you'd like to be with community members and have conversation and be in a Zoom room together. It's like coffee after the Sunday celebration. The link is right there on Facebook. You can join your fellow community members, have a conversation, and we look forward to seeing you there. And secondly, you can still get Spiritual Mind Treatment's affirmative prayer after our Sunday celebration with our beloved practitioners. So one-on-one in a Zoom room, and get your prayers on with them. The link is also available. So we are grateful that you joined us today. We continue to say, be safe, be well, wear that mask, and be love. See you next week. Bye for now as we sing it out.
Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the winds of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me.